So welcome to the call. We're going to touch on a couple of things here. I'm going to further talk about trading view. I'm going to talk about a couple of important things. Also psychology too, which is very, very important for us to touch on as well in trading. All right. So first and foremost, welcome once again to the call. Really grateful for you all being here today. First thing we're going to touch on is I just said on the previous call, we have a special leadership event, a special team event. It's going to be a team gathering taking place in London, July 26th. So of course, mark your calendars. I expect every single one of you guys, if you're in the UK, even if you're not, fly into the UK. No, I'm joking. Well, maybe some of you might, but definitely plug in with this gathering. You can call it a bonding session, gathering, event. I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but I like to call it leadership lock-in. It's definitely going to be very, very, very important. You guys are there. You get a chance to learn from some of the greatest people to ever do this, and also learn, meet some of the other team members, meet some of the other traders. It's going to be a very, very, very powerful time. So July 26th, please mark down. That's literally 13 days, 2 weeks away. So make sure you are in the room. It's going to be amazing. We're going to talk about trading. We're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about personal development, leadership, everything that you need to take your life, your business, your finances to the next level. Definitely be in the room. It's going to be something absolutely off the chain. All right, cool. Let's get into it now, guys. So first and foremost, I want to touch on the couple of things in terms of the system that we have, right? When it comes to trading, when someone gets started, I know some of you have had a couple of questions regarding the systems of Iconic and the actual applications that we use. I do want to direct you to a video. I'm sure you're sick and tired of hearing about this video, or maybe sick and tired of seeing the video. But I can reassure you, it's definitely very, very important. And there's a reason why I made the video, okay? So I'm going to show you guys this video again. I just posted it in the chat, but this video is going to be pretty much your entire breakdown of this platform, okay? Of exactly how Iconic works. I know some of you have some questions about how to use MT5. I do want to tell you again, this video goes through everything that you need, okay? So first and foremost, this video, I talk about, a little bit about psychology and mindset, like what's your why, all that kind of stuff. Then I touch on how to create your trading account on Vantage. I know some of you are in different parts of the world. If you are in the USA or Canada or the Caribbean, I am referring people to a broker called Hanko Trade, which is quite good for America. It also connects to Swipe to Trade, which is really good news. So Hanko Trade, brother Dan Larson from the US. I'm not sure if he's on this call, but a really, really great gentleman, him and his wife, amazing couple. They just got started with us last week, and I was looking for, a really good broker for them to work with. And of course, Hanko Trade is one that I definitely would say for the US market. I know we have a couple others. I know we have, he is on the call. Amazing. There he is, Mr. Larson. Yes, sir. So we have, Hanko Trade for the US. Coinex as well. It's okay, but Hanko is a really good system. I've been working with them and seeing some of the features are pretty good. It's a really good system. So Hanko Trade for the US. Of course, if you're in the UK, we have Vantage. There's also a couple other options as well that you could use, but definitely Vantage is the one that we use for the UK. So I go through creating your account. Of course, if you're in a different part of the world, ignore that part. I'll help you create your brokerage account separately. But then I talk about how to go through the platform, how to connect your Swipe to Trade. I talk about how to access the videos on the academy there, on how to use MetaTrader 5, or even just going through some of the beginning steps here. Then I go through how to go into the academy and actually master the markets, learn about the basic, the intermediate, and the advanced levels of trading, right? These videos are very, very important. So you want to go to ECA and learn these videos. Again, there's so many different videos, over 99 videos, well over 100 videos on this academy. Very, very important that you go through that, guys. If you do not know how to go into Okay, if you haven't watched my onboarding video, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, put a 1 in the chat if you haven't watched my onboarding video. Even if you're already trading and you might know your way around the system, but you haven't watched the video, I would still recommend for you to watch the video. So everyone's watched the video. Quite impressive. If you haven't watched the video, put a 1 in the chat. Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, you're good, Dan. You're good. I know you're on it. You're on it, sir. You're on it. You're on it. All right. So everyone's watched it. So if you have watched it, put a 2 in the chat. It's interesting. Okay. So everyone's up to speed. If you have watched it, put a 2 in the chat. If you haven't watched it, put a 1 in the chat. Okay. So everyone's watched it. Okay. Okay. Charles, verified, whoever the verified is. Okay. So I'll put, if you go into the trading chat, I've just put the video there again in the chat. So by the end of this call, I would highly recommend to watch it because I go through everything. I go through the entire system. I go through how to go through the education. Stocks Academy. Sorry guys, the educational videos. You're welcome, Charles. You're welcome. You're welcome. So yeah, so there's several different videos here. I talk about how to go through the back office and how to find Swipe to Trade, how to utilize and take the trades from Swipe to Trade. I talk about then how to connect your broker to MT5. Of course, if you're in the US, you will be using Act Trader. Okay. Oh yeah, amazing. Yes. Bianca's video is great. But Jackie, I'll still recommend watch my video too as well. Both of them are great. Bianca's video is amazing as well. But just to have, I kind of dived into a few more topics as well regarding. Well, I mean, Jackie's she's rocking and rolling anyway, right? But no, it's good. I mean, but just to have that, just to see how, just to see the process a little bit more in depth. But absolutely. So yeah, this video talks about MT5. Of course, if you're in the US, you'll be using Trade Locker or Act Trader. There are some brokers that are using MT5 in the US, but I would probably recommend other platforms for now. Coinex uses it, Prolific, but you want to have a broker that can connect to Swipe to Trade as well, which Hanko Trade does, which is why I use that one more. There is a video on how to use Act Trader. If you need help with that, I can definitely guide you through that. Then there is a section where I talk about how to set up your Solex. Now, Solex is really an amazing part of this company. I even stopped sharing my screen. I actually go through how to connect your Solex, right? So if you look at in this video, I talk about how to actually utilize Solex. This is very important that you follow these steps, guys, so you can utilize what you've paid for. I highly recommend for you to do this because, I don't want anybody to feel like they're not getting value for money. You've paid for a service, and my sincere, heartfelt desire is that you really apply yourself. Within the first 24 hours, you go through all the videos, you go through this video, you go through all the steps, and you really apply yourself to this platform. Because guys, we are making, it's not even just about the money, but people are actually more fulfilled than they've ever been. I've been working with some traders for the past, some of them I've been working with for 2-3 years, 4 years, and they tell me this company is another level, right? When it comes to trading, it's really because the focus is trading. And, people are no longer confused or, not know what to promote. There's one product, which is trade, that we promote here. And again, that's the reason why we made this transition. Wasn't because of anything other than the fact that we wanted people to really grow in the area of trading. I trade myself. I'm not just a salesman. I love trading. I love Forex. Like, guys, I can't wait for the market to open right now. I'm clucking for it. I'm like, give me some. Let me hold that market, man. I love trading. You guys know this, right? I really love I cannot wait for the market. I'm itching for the market to open. I've got some big positions to open up in gold, right? I'm ready for it. I cannot wait for the market to open. That's the desire that I want you all to have. There's no point of being here if you're not going to apply yourself wholeheartedly to the platform. Why are you here? I must be honest. I want you guys to win, right? You're here to win, right? Let me know in the chat box. Are you here to win? You saw the results. I mean, if any of you weren't on our call just now, we had a lady that made $6,000, withdrew $6,000 from her trading account. She withdrew. Did you hear what I said? Not made, withdrew. Another young lady. She made like her account balance is now $9,000. She grew it from 3,000 to 9,000 trading. We have another gentleman, Hassan. I'm not sure if he's on the call, but a very, very dear friend of mine. I mean, I really, really, he's a really good friend of mine. He came into this company, no experience. He literally turned an account from £80 to 40. I think it's £1,900 in a couple of days. Yes, it is. His lot sizes were quite high. I'm going to be honest, right? But he knew what he was doing, and he was able to scalp effectively and make money. Okay, I don't recommend everyone going at big lot sizes. Okay, but it's an example of what is possible. Okay, and he withdrew his money, and he's extremely happy. Okay, so I want you guys to understand this is not a game. If you're in this company and you're tiptoeing in, you're tiptoeing out, what's the point of paying every month for a service you're just going to be half-hearted about, right? If you're in a relationship with someone and you're going to be half-hearted with them, oh yeah, I'll see you when I can. You're going to make an effort, right? And so the question is, how's your relationship with money? If your relationship with money and success is what it's supposed to be, you're going to want more money. I'm not saying you're going to love money. I don't believe loving. I believe loving what money does for you. I don't love money. I love what it does for my family. Okay, I love what it does for my family, and you've got to get serious with this skill set, guys. I'm telling you, you got to get serious with the skill set. You got to stop playing around with it. I'm not saying any of you are. You guys know more than me your lifestyle, and if you're playing with this opportunity, just oh yeah, I paid one time, and you're lazy, you're not watching no videos. If you've been there for longer than a month and you haven't watched at least half of the videos, then don't ask me why you're not making money. I'm going to be honest, because this company has enough resources. I'm up like sometimes all night planning for the team certain things that I want you guys to implement. I really, really like my stance is different from most people, because I'm not just here just selling a course. I'm actually in love with the skill set I'm promoting, and that's why I'm passionate about it. Because it's not just, oh yeah, Derek's doing this iconic thing, and people don't understand how passionate I am about helping people, right? The passion led me to leave, an environment that I was super comfortable in, and that, one of the closest people that I've ever met is the owner of the company. Why? Because I wanted to prioritize my community. I wanted to be in a place where people can actually win in trading and not just have 5 signals a day. That's not enough for me, right? There needs to be more. And that's why we're here, because now we get 50 plus signals a day, right? Has there been a difference, guys, over the past 6 months? Have you guys put a 1 in the chat if you've seen a difference, right? As opposed to getting 5 signals a day, 6 signals a day. And I'm not speaking bad about anybody. I'm just being honest, right? Because, if you're in a company and they're giving you 5 signals a day, as opposed to getting 25, 30. And guys, you know what I love about Solex? Every company has signals. I'm sure some of you have been in other companies in the past, right? But the difference that I like about Solex is that Solex, the educators are actually conversating with you whilst the trade is happening. That's what I like. Look at this. Guys, look at this. This is an example of what I say. Look at this person, Adebayo. Before you post, always give instructions. People are talking. People are conversating in the chat. Look, buy gold. They're telling you, guys, move your stop loss. Okay? Now, in other platforms, they do have maybe updates that come through, but it doesn't come up on your phone as a pop-up. So you don't even know what to do. You're just waiting for the trade to do what it needs to do. This is extremely focused on traders making money. Does that make sense? Or is it blank? Can you guys see my screen? 1 second. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, I know what's happening here. 1 second. One second. One second. Let's see. You guys can see it now. Okay, great. So yeah, this is, a video that will look. It says here there's actually conversations happening in the app, and that's the difference. Because people ask me, I'm very transparent, guys. I'm a leader. I lead by example, right? Of course, everyone's gonna ask the question: why did you guys, go to this new company, right? Why, right? It's very simple. We found something better, right? It's nothing personal to anybody else. But it's a decision that was the right decision by 1,000,000%. You know what I mean? I love and respect everybody, but we had to make a choice, and we've had more people make money in the past 1 month than we had in 6 months elsewhere. And I just say that because it's the truth, right? It's not, it's a respectful thing. We love everybody, but this company has a true focus on the mastery of the markets. We're gonna raise so many great traders. I love this. I love this game. Trading is my literally. I make more in trading some weeks than I even do in network marketing, and I have 4-figure weeks in network marketing. I've been making 6 figures in network marketing for the past 5+ years, right? And there's some weeks where I make more in trading. You know what I'm saying? Because I love the skill set. I love what it does for me and my family. My son is already looking at charts and he understands certain things. My mother trades. My wife trades. My brother trades. My uncles all trade. They all have trading accounts. I was sitting with a guy yesterday in Knightsbridge, and he does futures. He's going to join, trade with us. It's a powerful skill set, guys. So I don't want you guys to just look at it and say, oh yeah, well, I'm trying out this trading thing. No, really, really give it your all. Because I promise you can really change your life. You have no idea that the amount of success when you're pulling money out of the markets every single day. Not every trade will go your way, but you really gotta get stuck into this, guys. If you haven't set up your apps, what are you waiting for, guys? Please get yourself set up, because we are guys. By the way, we have some announcements in regards to platforms. We are introducing some new scanners to the company too. We have some new scanners, some new softwares. I know you guys like Monara, but what if I told you we have Monara 2.0? And we're going to be revealing this at our leadership event that we're going to be doing July 26th. For those that just came onto the call late, we have a special team bonding leadership event taking place in London at a very luxurious location, 5-star location, just for the team, no guests. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have loads of food. It's going to be a very prestigious location, and you're going to get the chance to learn from us directly. Of course, bond with us, have food with us, chill with us, vibe to some good music, and of course, have an incredible time. But with the announcements we're going to have, guys, we have a new scanner coming in. We have some new traders coming in. We have a new director of education. There will be a special call that we're going to be doing as a company in the next 3 or 4 days. By next week, we're going to have a leadership call, a company update call, which is going to be very, very, very powerful. So, guys, we have a lot to look forward to. Now, I'm going on too much right here, but yeah, we've got Mr. Smith on the line. My co-pilot is here as well. I'm going to bring him up in a moment. But we have in this video, I also talk about MT5, how to utilize MT5, how to use it. And how to add currencies, and I even talk about how to copy and paste trades into MT5. Okay, guys, and I also talk about how to compound your account. I talk about risk management and all of that good stuff, guys. So it's definitely a good video to go through if you want to master this skill set. If you really want to make it happen, this is definitely the video for you guys to watch and to get stuck into. Okay, guys, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, we are super excited. I think we are good. I'm going to quickly show you guys what I've been looking at this week. This week's going to be a heavy week in the market. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty with the whole Trump situation and tariffs. I'm going to just quickly show you guys, just again, a little bit of market structure stuff. And then, of course, I'll pass it over to Jermaine Smith, my brother, to carry on and to close the call off. But yeah, just looking at gold this week, looking at a couple of things here. Again, I'm looking at gold here. Now, guys, I'm not going to go through I will let Jermaine do more of the analysis, but I'm just going to talk about what this is all about. Because a lot of you are like, Derek, this looks really nice, but what are you even showing me? So basically, I'm showing you guys the analysis of the markets, right? The market moves in waves, okay? I know a lot of you are looking at candlesticks, which are important, but at the same time, the market goes in waves, okay? So it's a move there, boom, 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 right? There's actually just waves the market moves in, okay? It's zigzags, okay? It's just zigzags. Does that make sense? Now, if I show you guys the line chart, this is basically, I think this is how the market, obviously, you'll be a psychopath to trade like this. You got to be, people that trade with the line chart, I mean, I don't know, they must be geniuses, because I don't know how they would even see what's going on. But this is an example of how sometimes I look at it just to kind of see like the different types of, analysis. You can look at candles, you can look at hollow candles, you can look at HLC. So you can, but it's all the same thing. If you look at all these different patterns, it just basically just showing you the same thing, the movement of the markets. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get tradingview.com, right, which is a free website, and you want to create an account, and you just want to start playing around with it, okay? The market, you move in support and resistance. The market moves with support and resistance. You have a high level, a high point, and a low point. Okay, so I'm going to get on a new chart here. I'm going to go, just going to random chart. Let me go on something that moves, let's say Euro GBP. Okay, good. So this is a very simple overview on like just how, and I'll pass it on to Jay now in a minute, but very, very simple, right? This is a zone. This is the movement of the market. Let's just say I'm analyzing this zone here. I'm going to draw a line in the bottom, and you always draw the line from the wick. The wick is basically that little skinny line. The wick shows you how far the market had pushed. Now, of course, if this is the level of support, if I'm looking, and this is where the market is pushing off of, it's a floor of the market. Now, of course, if it was to go below the market, I wouldn't be as worried. The issue that happens is if the market closes below this line, then it's going to indicate potentially a change of character, which is called CHOC, a change of character. Okay, so basically, just to get long and short of it, this is basically the support and the resistance. Okay, so whenever you see traders calling out trading alerts, and even if you see myself or Jermaine or any of the other traders calling out trades, you're going to see there'll be buys and there'll be sells. Okay, and those buys and sells are based upon, again, support, resistance, where the market's pushing off of, different zones that you can see. But just imagine the market has a certain area where it's comfortable, and there's certain areas where it rejects off of. So once you establish support and resistance, you can then determine other things, such as volume of the market, such as, fair value gaps, and so many other things that you might hear that might sound like gibberish, which I'm not going to go into right now, but you'll be able to understand the flow of the market. It's very simple that, for example, I just identified a zone just right here. I mean, just by looking at it, let's just say rectangle, immediately identify the zone. Your eyes just pick up certain things, right? And then you can actually then look at this other zone here, and then boom, you have two areas, right, that you can identify as zones of consolidation where there's not much direction going on, right? There's three types of movement in the markets. You've got an upwards movement, downward movement, and sideways movement. Upwards movement is called an uptrend, downward is called a downtrend, and sideways movement is called a consolidating market or an indecisive market. Okay, guys, that's just some basic market analysis, like how you mark up a chart. It's very, very simple stuff. Of course, over time, we're going to be definitely making some things shake as well. So, Mr. Smith, what's going on, brother? Good evening. What's going on, brother? What's going on, man? We're here again.
Yo, what's happening, Mike? What's happening, coach? Listen, give me a couple of minutes. I just need to turn the PC on, man.
No worries. You do your thing. I'm gonna touch on real quickly before I bring up Jay. Get ready. I'm gonna touch on Forex Factory. Give you guys a little bit of source on this to see what's been happening in the markets or what will be happening this week coming. So this is a website called Forex Factory. I would highly recommend for you guys to have a look at this. This website is absolutely incredible, okay? It will give you updates on what's happening in the markets. Tomorrow is pretty dry. There's nothing happening tomorrow. You see, tomorrow is a bank holiday for France. So again, the French market, if you're trading euro, a little bit less volume, less liquidity. There's not going to be much liquidity going through the market tomorrow at all. This is all that's happening tomorrow. So basically, these are certain moves that are going to be taking place. These are different news alerts. So Forex Factory, it shows you the currency pair, the time, and what news release is going to come out. So for example, it could tell you new loans. So this is going to affect this currency here, the Chinese currency. Why? Because new loans means that they're actually giving out money, government money. The economy is going to be impacted. Why? Because they're actually supplying people and giving them new credit cards, new loans, APR rates, interest rates could be discussed. That's why it's going to affect the Chinese currency. I mean, we don't trade the Chinese yuan anyway, but that's an example. Canadian dollar, right? There's different currencies here. Now let's go on to Tuesday. Let's see what's going to happen on Tuesday. Oh yeah, now we're talking a little bit juicy. Now 1:30 p.m. Boy, if you're trading USD or CAD, you better be ready because the market's going to move. CPI, Consumer Price Index, one of the biggest news alerts that we have in the Forex markets. This is a very pivotal news release that takes place. We've also got FOMC as well. Mr. Gov Bailey will also be speaking as well. The Bank of England. So as you can see, there are just different news releases based upon different currencies. Let me know in the chat box if that makes sense. Let me know in the chat if you're following me so far. Okay, this is very, very important stuff to understand. Okay, because you want to understand, you want to look at the markets as an analyst. You want to know what's happening in the markets. Does that make sense? You want to know what's happening in the markets. Okay, very, very important. This is basically called fundamental analysis, and what I was showing you earlier with this stuff, this is called technical analysis. Okay, someone put that in the chat if you can, please. That would be amazing. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you for helping me out, guys. Let me keep the chat box active for me so people can be informed. Okay, so fundamental analysis is when you're looking at the news, you're looking at the economy, and you're looking at certain things. Like some people just trade the news. The biggest moves in the market typically are from the news. Okay, some of them aren't, but most of them is the news. So some people just trade the news only. They only trade when something's happening because they can get a big move. Now, if you look at the markets here, a lot of the time, if I look at this though, this is Euro Pound. Wednesday, 2nd of July. So look at this. Wednesday, 2nd of July at 12 o'clock. You guys see that? Okay, let's go and look at this and see what happened at that particular time. It's not guaranteed there will always be a news release, but typically there is. Okay, so 2nd of July, 12 o'clock. There was a USD. There we go. Non-farm, but that wasn't that on the Wednesday. Yeah, so NFP was on the Thursday. But the day before, there was the ADP non-farm employment change. That was 1:15. Okay. GBP member spoke. There was something else here, but it wasn't so. So sometimes it's not just like, okay, it's a direct news event, but because the NFP was the following day, that was also, maybe an indication as to, well, that's Euro GBP. It's not even it's not even dollar. My bad. It wasn't even dollar. It was, it wasn't even that. So it was nothing actually. It was something else because there it's Euro. My bad. I thought it was USD. Let me look at another option here. Let's look at GBP JPY. Let's look at a really, really big move. Look at this bad boy over here. Thursday, 3rd of July at 12. Okay, let's look at what happened there. JPY, British pound JPY, okay? 3rd of July at 12. What happened? What happened, guys? What happened? Okay, cool. So, again, there was NFP that day. But that is not affecting... that's not affecting the GBP/JPY. But, of course, even though it's not so much directly correlated, there are a lot of other things that take place alongside. Like, let's say some people, you have some whales or some big investors that will start buying into different currencies or purchasing assets or large companies at the same time. That could also move the market. You've got market manipulators. There's a lot of things that the market has a mind of its own, but there's also a mind behind the mind, if you know what I mean. There's it's not all just, the market just does what it does. There's always people behind. There's people that can really move this market. There are very, very, very rich people out there who have so much money, or they have conglomerates and hedge funds. Guys, bearing in mind the Forex market is made up of several entities. You've got retail traders, you've got banks, hedge funds, governments, banks, okay? Now, they say anything between 10 to 20% of the Forex market are retail traders. The rest of the market, the 80%, is the banks, the hedge funds, and the massive corporations like IBM, Apple, Amazon. These are the whales. These companies are worth hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars. Okay? So imagine these big conglomerates, these big companies being manipulated by, tariffs or different things, right? So it's not just all a news alert here, but if we do look at the NFP, which is 1:30 p.m., 1:30 p.m. on Thursday, the 3rd, right, is very, very, very obvious. If you go into Euro USD, Thursday the 3rd, Thursday the 3rd, let's zoom in on this. Let's see what's going on. So Thursday the 3rd at 2:30. Look at that. The market moved massively. Okay. This is, see, can you guys see this? Let me know in the chat if you can see this. These are the two candles that were formed, right? Euro USD, massive drop. That's about right. We're talking about almost 100 pip move just in an hour, right? These are called hourly charts, 4-hourly charts, daily chart. It's the same thing. It's the same currency pair, but it's measuring the movement of the market in a different time frame. Does that make sense? So just to give you guys some updates, like Forex Factory is key. It's a very, very important website to go onto. Oh yeah, guys, don't forget also, I want to answer your question, Dan, but fundamental analysis and technical analysis, if those two have a baby, it's called sentimental analysis. So I'll consider myself a sentimental trader because I do both. I love the news, but I also mark up my charts. I believe that's the best way. It's good to have both perspectives. Some people are just technical, but to be honest, Can you just be a technical trader? No, because NFP comes around. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to trust the charts." No, you have to look at the news. So technically, you can't just be you can't just. It's either your fundamental by itself, which you can do because you don't need to mark up anything. You could just look at you could know trading so much that you just look at the news and you predict what's going to happen, and you make 100K once a month on NFP every month. Some people do that, and they make 100K in NFP. They withdraw the money, they live their life. The following month, they come back and make another 100K, right? Whatever the case is, everyone's different. I believe in doing both because you can become a master at the skill set and you can really start to pull money out of this market on a consistent basis. So that's a little bit about Forex Factory. Let's see what's going to happen. So let's show Tuesday. Yeah, PPI, core retail sales, unemployment claims, 1:30 p.m. So yeah, not a heavy week in terms of that, but I believe it's going to be very, very good regardless. We're going to get some good trades from Solex. And I believe we're going to rock and roll, man. So Mr. Smith, my brother, he is ready to rock this thing out, man. And how you feel about the leadership lock-in, bro? I mean, I know you're excited about that, man, Mr. Smith.
Say that again, repeat that.
That leadership lock-in that we got at the end of the month, man. I mean, you know, the team, I told them if they're good, they might get you to share a little bit of sauce on the markets with them, man. I told them.
Nah, I'm gonna share some sauce regardless, bro. Whether they're good or they're bad, man, I'm gonna share some sauce regardless, and hopefully pray that somebody walks away with some nuggets and some skill, man, for real. Yeah, but believe it, I'm super excited with the announcement. To be honest with you, I wasn't sure if you announced it on this call, so I didn't want to say anything.
I did. Yeah.
But you saw my text, right? You can even share that in the group if you want. I am super excited about something like that, not only because it really forms the unity of the team, but this feels like the beginning of something amazing. Like this feels like 50 Cent G Unit. Like this feels crazy, bro.
No, don't get me started with that one. You know, I'm a fan, man. Oh, that was we know. Just vitamin water. You know what I mean? It's all happening. It's all happening.
This is it, man. This is it. So yeah, guys, look, apologies, I was a little bit late to the call. I was actually at dinner. I'd taken someone to dinner. This gentleman goes by the name of Nadeem Ahmed. He was one of my old mentors as well, highly respected me. He's from Manchester, so he was down in London today. So I said, there's no way you're coming down to London, bro, without me taking you for dinner. So yeah, I got back a little bit late from that. But if he comes back into this industry, you guys are gonna have a great time.
He's a legend. He's a real legend. No, he's a no-nonsense guy though. So if you want someone to stroke you and say, oh, you know, it's okay, that he's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, what you need to hear. So, you know what I mean?
100%. But he's doing well.
Amazing.
So guys, look, I know we're a bit short of time. So let's get really into the charts. So if you was on the call last week, you probably would have heard that we're going to be looking at 3 pair types, right? GBP USD, AUD USD, USD CAD, and we're going to really make a meal of these 3 pair types, right? And not only are you going to make a meal of these 3 pair types, so am I, okay? Because the same trades that I'm going to be initiating, showing you guys on the Sunday call, on the Tuesday calls, I'll be taking exactly the same trades as well as you guys, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to get onto the charts because I know we don't want to overcook this call too much, right? So let me just jump on here. 1 second, guys. I'll share my screen. Boom. Okay, you guys see my screen in a second. Just drop me a number 1 in the chat if you can see my screen. Drop me a number 1 in the chat if you can see my screen. Okay, perfect. Let's go. Before I actually get started, Who on this call was actually, I heard some amazing testimonies, but I just want to know who in the group right now, how many people on this call? So they've got 30 people on this call minus me and Derek, right? 28 people. How many of you 28 people were trading this week? Drop a number 2 in the chat. Let me know if you were actually trading this week. Because the whole objective of us doing this calls, guys, is to make sure that you are actually taking trades. Win, lose, indifference, as long as you're following your trading plan, it doesn't matter. You'll get better at it, right? So we got just a few of you people trading. Okay, guys, look, the whole purpose of this call is to make sure that every single one of you starts to take trades. Yes, some of us are going to be here to build a team, build a network, and so on and so on. But the fundamental, the foundation of what you can use to inspire somebody is to actually take trades yourself. Okay. Took a few, but I'm not quite set up yet. That's okay. That's okay. You're actually in the process. Okay. You're in the process. You're in the meal. All right. You're moving forward. One step left, left step, right step. We're moving forward. Right. So let's have a look at some of these charts, and hopefully you guys can get some perspective of what it is that we are looking at from these 3 pair types. So this is AUD USD, right? AUD USD. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me actually turn that fan. Yeah, turn on that fan. That fan makes too much noise. Okay, so this is AUD USD, right? So we looked at this particular market. Okay, we looked at this particular market last week, and we were looking for this market to actually make a drop. Okay, now as the market has progressed, we can clearly see that the market is not dropping. It's actually moving up, right? So there's this next level right here. Okay, this level right here that the market could go to. Okay, where the market could go to. Now, the whole reason why we're doing this, the way we're going to do these charts, right? Just so you get more foundation and more perspective of why we're looking at it the way we're looking at it, is because the Sunday call is primarily is to set you up. Okay, there's the Sunday call is to set you up. That's why it's important not to miss the Sunday call, because you don't want to miss the setup. All right. You've got Solex that's going to give you amazing signals throughout the week. They're going to give you trading calls, trainings, all that sort of stuff as well. But this is a little bit different. This is going to be really going into the detail to make sure that whatever we can do, you can do it. You might do it in slightly your own different way. Okay, that's absolutely fine as well. But you want to be a little bit more of a copycat when it comes to gaining the foundation of what it is that we do, right? So AUD USD, this is on the day chart, right? On the day chart, we can see clearly here that we do have a higher level. Okay, so this now becomes void. All right, that comes void, that becomes void. Okay, so we could be looking at a potential trade that goes something like this. Boom, 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 to the top side. Okay, we could be looking at a potential trade that is going to particularly do this. Now, what I would be looking at now is to say, okay, if we believe that this process could actually happen, which this red candle here, let's just make this a little bit bigger. This candle here now is the retest of this zone. So if we look at it, guys, look. If we look from down here, okay, came up, okay, pulled back outside of the zone, a little bit of a fake out there, pulled back up, pulled back down, broke the zone now, okay, we broke the zone. This engulfing candle is much bigger, much fuller than all the existing candles along this row, right? Came back to retest this line, then we're looking for a takeoff, which is an amazing trade. That is a textbook trade, guys, textbook. You don't need too much thought process behind it. You just need to have the courage to press the button, right? So if we get this particular trade, if we go down to now the 4 hour, if we go down to the 4 hour, let me take one of these off. If we go down to the 4 hour, you can clearly see now there was some resistance around this zone, right? You can see there's some resistance around this zone, right? So what we're looking for now, we need a candle to come up. We see the pullback here, but we need it to break through this zone. Okay, we need it to break through this zone. And unless we have a candle that breaks through the zone, clearly breaks through the zone. There is no trade here, okay? But if we do get that, then we can take the trade to the upside. It's that plain and simple, guys. We're not going to overcook it, right? We can take the trade to the upside. So we should be looking for nothing more than a 2-to-1. Okay, we should be looking for nothing more than a 2-to-1. So let's say we're going to go for, I don't know, let's say we're going to go for 60 pips, right? 60 pips is 600 points. So we have a look, we have a stop loss of now 30 pips, 300 points. That's your 2-to-1 right there. Okay, but we have to have a candle break this zone. Okay, now how do we actually keep an eye on this? If you was on the call last week, you would know that we're going to set an alert. Okay, we're going to set an alert, right? How to set an alert on TradingView? Simply come here where you can see my mouse flashing right now. Click that cross and this box comes up. So add alert on AUD USD at this particular point, okay? We can add it for a sell limit, we can add it for a buy stop and so on and so on. But we're just gonna go to add an alert. It makes it nice and simple, right? Now that has put an alert right here for me. And I'm gonna pick this alert up and I'm gonna drag it down. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna drag it down to my entry. So I know now if we get the chart moving up to this level, okay, if we get the chart moving up to this level, that is also going to alert on my phone as well. Okay, it's also going to alert on my phone as well. Now, in between here, we're going to have TPs. Okay, so I'm going to just see something on this side here. If you see me looking on this side, guys, because I've got TradingView open on this side as well. Okay. Let's say AD 613 6913. Okay, so we got 913. Okay, so we're going to have another point of reference as well. It should be 0. Okay, right here. So that's right in our zone right here. So we're looking at another daily high in this zone, this region right here. Okay, so this is a setup that you might want to take a screenshot of. Okay, now just to inform you, whilst all this is playing in the background, you're going to continue taking trades from Solex. You're going to continue taking trades from Lanara. You're going to continue taking trades from Derek. You're going to continue taking your own trades because this is not going to happen immediately. Okay, this is on a 4-hour chart. This will happen immediately. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because this is my style of trading and this is what I believe. Okay. A lot of people don't have time on their hands. Okay. A lot of people don't have time on their hands. Maybe you're working, maybe you're a parent, maybe you're a grandparent, maybe you got 2-3 jobs, maybe you're a volunteer, maybe you just got a busy lifestyle, which, you know, you're just, I don't know, driving Ferraris all day long and you don't have a lot of time, right? I'm not here to judge. But wouldn't you want a trade idea to be sitting in the background, just waiting to be initiated by your settings and then make money whilst you are doing nothing but just watching it do it? Okay. That's why for me, I'm a zone to zone trader. I like to trade from zone to zone. Okay. Now, the problem with zone to zone trading is this, guys. It will test your patience because you might start getting this sort of behavior. Okay. You might start getting this sort of behavior and it might take some time. All right. But in the meantime, I'm not saying that you can't eat fast food. I'm not saying that you can't go for a little Mackie D or a KFC, all right, on a quick pip, right? But also, at the end of the month after you've got paid, you know you want that gourmet steak, right? I don't even know what I'm coming out with this. I just had some great food, right? You're gonna want that gourmet steak, right? You're gonna want that one when the waiter comes over and he says, "How do you want your steak done?" That's if you eat meat, right? And you tell him, "Yeah, I want it this way." Okay. for what you're explaining. Okay, perfect. So this is one of those types of trades, right? So just bear in mind that it may take some time, but if it does break the zone, it's a well-cooked trade. Okay. So that's your first trade for the week. Okay, and we're gonna follow this. We're gonna follow this, and we're gonna trail this as well. If I see some trades that we can take in between this, then definitely we're gonna take it, right? Let's look at GU. So GU is already initiated. So GU was one of the pair types that we spoke on as well. GU has already been initiated. As you can see, it's already fallen into our zone. Okay. Now, this is what I need you guys to really understand here. Okay. When we are looking at trades that have no real direction, we're going to be going either or. But it's not a guess. It's not a guess. You must be very, very clear of this, guys. Don't just be like, oh, well, you know what? It may be able to buy, maybe it's going to sell. We just guess. No. You have to go with the flow of the market, right? So the flow of the market was this. I'm going to leave all of these markings on here, and I'll take it off afterwards. The flow of the market was this. It could either come down to this zone, bounce back, and then come down to this lower zone. Guys, if I move this here, okay, can you see how that has taken place? Can you see how that has taken place? Almost to the point where it's almost spot on, okay? We had it come down out of this zone, consolidate for a while, break down, retest, and now make its way down to this zone, okay? So if you're taking this trade right now, you would be in around 59, let's say 55 pips profit, okay? 55 pip profit. If you do 55 pips profit, taken by, let's say, I don't know, taken by, 10p, okay, you're going to be in good profit. If you do it by a standard, you're going to be in even better profit, okay? The reason why I'm not quoting, because obviously the broker's going to take a small spread as well. So instead of it being, I don't know, £55, it could be £40, whatever it is, right? Because obviously the broker's going to take that spread as well. So when we mark up the chart, make sure that you're taking a screenshot, but you have to trail it at the same time as well. So GU, we're going to wait for this trade to actually come right down to this zone. Okay, let me just see what I've got marked up over here as well. We're going to wait for it to come right down to this zone. Okay, we might get, 1 second, guys. We might get a, come on, paste. Come on. All right, it doesn't want to paste. I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Do it the old-fashioned way. 1.38409. Okay. We might even get it dropping even to a lower zone, what I've got marked up over here. But for now, we'll just keep it to that zone. Now, if you want, for as of tomorrow, I would say you could even get into this trade for a sell, right? Guys, most of this stuff, I would say take on your demo until you're confident about what it is that I'm explaining to you. Don't just jump into it because I've said, right? But I would say confidently for myself, I'll be taking the rest of this for a sell, right? So there's a good, 30 some pips there. Even if you could catch it for 20 pips, that's even okay as well, right? It's on a 4-hour chart. If you look at what I'm using down here, which is one of the indicators, I don't really use too many indicators as much now. But as you can see, there is a lot of selling momentum and your RSI bands are coming down. They're pointing downwards. It means that there's a lot of downward momentum, okay? Yellow over the red means selling. Red below the yellow, red above the yellow means buying, obviously, as well, yeah? But there's a lot of selling momentum here, okay? So that's GU, and we've got USD CAD now. Let's have a look at USD CAD. I don't know if you guys managed to take a screenshot of that. Take a screenshot if you can. All right. We've got to USD CAD. So USD CAD is the one that I'm probably going to take the most trades on, right? Purely because I kind of understand how it moves. I'm quite comfortable with it, so on and so on. This was like one of the last trades I took of USD CAD. I ate well on this trade. I ate so well on this trade. But now you can clearly see that the trade is moving more sideways, right? There is pips to be had in here if you're scalping, but as you can see, it's moving more sideways. So let me just see what I've got over here for USD CAD. Smooth it out of the way. Close that off. USD CAD. Okay, so we've got no real clear direction on USD CAD right now. So we're going to watch this chart. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to mark up this chart fresh on a daily, and then I'm going to post that in the group, right? I'm going to post that in the group, and then we'll have our trade. So all three pair types, I'm going to post a trade in the group. Okay. I'm not necessarily going to give you a trade idea. I'm going to post a trade in the group. As we go through the week, I will give you trade ideas from that particular trade, right? From that particular pair type. So you need to pay attention to the groups. Pay attention to the groups, okay? They will be early morning trades because I'm going to try and keep it to the same time zone. So there's some consistency for you guys as well. But there might be some that are just sporadic as well because the market's presented itself, right? So if I had to choose where I believe this market is going to go, I would definitely say I would be looking for a sell-off. I would definitely be looking for a sell-off, okay, to come down to these zones here. I would definitely be looking for some sort of movement like this. Probably to retest here and then come back down here, okay, and retest this zone here. This is a great zone, guys. If you look at it, how much times has this zone been tested? Look, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is like a magnet. When you see a currency testing a line like this or a floor like this, it's a bit like a magnet. All right. So I'm looking for that magnet to activate itself again and come back down right here as well. So let me just see what it looks like on the daily. Okay. Let's see. Daily's looking good. Daily is looking good. Okay. Now, if we don't get that movement, don't worry, guys. If we do not get that movement, don't worry. We will look for a trade in between these zones, right? These zones are big zones, right? So if we look at this zone here, you'll clearly see you can gain yourself over 100 pips. Guys, how many of you would like to catch a 100 pip trade? How many of you would like to catch a 100 pip trade? Even if it took the whole week, just leave it, let it run. 100 pip trade, zone between here and here, over 200 pips, guys. Okay, over 200 pips. Now, I'm going to tell you something. These are the types of trades that you do not even have to over leverage to make hundreds. I'm going to tell you that now. You do not have to over leverage. Okay, you don't want to be putting a standard lot size on these types of trades. You don't need to, but it might take the whole week. It might take 2 weeks. Okay, but you have to remember, in between there, as I said, you're going for the fast food. You're going for the Mackie D's, KFC, and all that for fast food. But these types of trades are the ones where you just leave it, let it run, let it go from zone to zone, and let it do its thing. Yes, in the meantime, Derek did hit on a very, very important point as well. You want to be checking Forex Factory, okay? You want to be checking Forex Factory. Guys, you should be able to type on your browser, right? FOR, and if Forex Factory is not the thing that comes up, it means that you're not using it enough. Okay, it means that you're not using it enough. Okay, so you should be typed that on one time and it should come up straight away. So if you look for now your calendar, okay, and you look for what we looked at AUD, you looked at USD CAD, you're going to look for USD news. Okay, you're going to look for USD's news. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to pull out of the trade, but what it means is that you might see some activity in that particular trade that you're in that it might look a bit rocky. Or let's like here, for instance, Tuesday here, the 15th, you've got free USD news. Okay, you've got free USD news, and you've also got free Canadian news. You might say to yourself, okay, I'm going to close out the trade. I'm going to close out the trade until the news pass, and then I'm going to reactivate and re-enter the trade afterwards. Okay, because what I will do, I will say, guys, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm closing out the trade. Let's let Tuesday pass. Let's let all the news pass and everything like that. Reevaluate the new trade and then jump back into the trade. Remember, we're only going to be trading these three pair types. Okay, so I'm going to consistently keep looking for trades for us to enter to make sure that we can maximize on this. And there's another reason why I'm doing this with you guys, because psychologically, I'm trying to get you guys to think about how the market moves over a few pair types. Okay, not trading everything and anything. How does these particular, and if you trail it, you will slowly start to understand how it moves. Yeah, so I hope that makes clear, guys. I see some people say facts, definitely me for the 100 pip, 200 pip trades. I know that, man. Listen, I'm due for one of those. I'm due for one of those. Yeah, so guys, that's literally how that will work. Okay, so it's just the free pair types that I'm going to be promoting and trading with you guys over the course of the next month, definitely. And one thing the only thing I would ask from you guys is definitely post your results as well. Don't be shy if we hit an SL and stuff like that. It's all part of the game. Okay, it's all part of the game. Do not be scared if you hit an SL. Okay. So that's it, guys. Is there any questions before we wrap this call up? Is there any questions before we wrap this call up? Let me jump on Iconic real quick. I want to have a look at Nara as well before we jump off. Guys, if there's any questions, either unmute yourself or drop it in the chat. And guys, I hope you guys are really, really, really understanding how important this trading game is, right? So is there a way to determine whether the news will positively or negatively affect the market? Yes, there is. There is. However, be mindful. What is displayed on Forex Factory is a forecast. It's very important you understand this word, forecast. There's no actual, okay? So we might see a forecast. Let's say, for instance, okay, let's look at this one, Monday. Now let's go to a red folder news. Let's make it more realistic, okay? So you've got the Canadian news here, yeah, CPI news, okay? The forecast is 0.2% in difference. The previous was 0.6 in difference. So it was a lot worse, right? It was a lot worse. This is a consumer index, right? So we're looking at a 0.2. Now, they might actually come out and say it's something completely different to what the forecast is. So now you're thinking that this market might shoot up, right? This market might be for the buy. But guys, you have to remember what they said out of someone's mouth, especially Powell, it could be completely the opposite direction. You could be going in for a sell, okay? There is a way to kind of set yourself up for a buy and a sell. I don't highly recommend it because when you get into a market, sometimes what can happen, the market can shoot up and then shoot down. It means that, and then it'll come back up 50%. It means that it will shoot up, get you into the trade. Okay. So now you're happy that you're making money, is get you into the trade and then shoot down, hit your stop loss, and then activate this one, which is selling as well, and then shoot back up and hit your stop loss again. So you lost two major trades. And it's more than likely you would have gambled at that point. you would have gambled. You would have said, you know what, it's going to hit one of these two. I'm going in for a high lot size. I'm going in for a major, major lot size. All right. So you want to be mindful that when you're reading consumer data, the best thing to do is actually read this data and then match it to the chart. And then do it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Match it to the chart. That I trade NFP only because, guys, I've taken the data and I've matched to the chart. There's so many occasions. I'm like, if the data says this, what happens in the market? If the data says this and Powell says this, what happens in the market? If the data says this and Powell says this, what happens in the market? And I've done it so many times now that I can start to understand the movement of the market. Okay, so I hope that kind of makes sense. So when you see news come in, do you recommend using that to one's advantage? I do definitely recommend using it to your advantage, but I'll be honest with you, when you see news come in, I personally will say stay out of the market because there's so much opportunity to trade outside of the market. It's almost like saying, okay, if me and you are going to go fishing, right? On Monday, there's rough seas, there's high tides, there's thunderstorms, there's this craziness going on, there's tidal waves in the sea, right? But on Friday, there's calm. Which day are we going to go fishing? We're going to go on the Friday. I hope you're going to go on the Friday with me because I'm definitely going on the Friday. I ain't going on the Monday, right? And that's similar to how trading can be, which is sometimes when there's news like this, just stay away from the market. Just get your respite. Read some trading journals, read some trading books, read some network marketing books, read some affirmations, do something different that's away from the market. Yeah, do something different that's away from the market. Okay. You should really have a look. I'm on a cool waves. Okay. Yeah, so do something different that's away from the market. So that's definitely what I would say. So use news, but review it more and more and more. So if this happens, this is what I'm going to do. If that happens, this is what I'm going to do. So guys, any more questions before I just go on Iconic real quick to look at Manara and see what's happening with Manara? If there's any more questions, just drop them in the chat. Let me just log on here. 1 second, guys. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Let me just log on here. Right. So if there's any more questions, just drop them in the chat. Right, let me bring Manara over. Hopefully you guys can see Manara on my screen. Perfect. Okay. So let's go to see what Manara is saying for. So we've got a lot of incomplete. Which is good news because incomplete means that at some point in time, it's literally a high percentage that it's going to become complete, right? We've got one complete, which is GU. GU is looking for the buy right now. Okay, GU is looking for the buy right now. This is actually in a good place. It's actually in a really good place. GU. So GU is selling off right now. So you can see there's a little bit of a conflict here. Okay, but GU is selling off for the daily. Okay, so let me explain something to you about Manara. This is actually a great example, right? So GU is looking for the sell-off right now, okay? But it's looking for a buy, and I'm going to tell you why it's looking for a buy. Because this particular chart is on the 1 hour, right? On the 1 hour, there could be some exhaustion where, I'm going to show you something. There could be some exhaustion where the market may pull up for a retest. Okay. Now, right now, Manara is actually not going in the way of the trend because we can clearly see that the trend is moving downwards, right? You can clearly see that this is a downward trend, right? Clearly. But Manara is looking for a pullback into this zone and then the continuation. Okay. So it's very, very important that when you look at Manara, Manara will give you two different types of trades. It will give you a reversal and it will give you a continuation. Okay. It's very, very important that you know which is which. You will only know this by looking at the trend, okay, and seeing, well, hold on a second, there is a lower low here, there is a lower low here, there is a lower low here, there is a lower low here. It means that this is continuing to make lower lows, which means that this market is trending downwards, okay? So this is now looking for a point of exhaustion where it pulls back and then continues for a downward movement, okay? So would I take this trade? I'd be very cautious of taking this trade, but do I believe this will come back to TP1? Yes, I do. Okay, TP2, I'm not too sure, but TP1 for a short trade, yes. Okay, how many pips is that if it does pull back? Okay, you're still looking about 50, 55 pips. Okay, because I wouldn't take it straight away. I would wait for it to cause a what? A higher high. So guys, it has to cause a higher high. What do I mean by a higher high? It needs to come. It needs to come above this zone right here to give me confidence that this is now going to be a higher high trade. Now, more than likely, yes, you can just jump in. Manara is going to be 70%, let's say 70 to 75% accurate. You can just jump in. But if you're really looking to make this a skill set and you're really saying to yourself, you know what, I really want to get to understand how this really, really works, you then got to start making decisions based on the skill set, not just based on what you see in front of you. Okay. You've got to make it about your experience. So this is the downtrend, right? This is the downtrend. One touch, two touch, three touch. Okay. So my trade is this on Manara. My trade is this. 1 second, guys. So we're looking for long position. So my trade is when it breaks the zone. Okay. And there's a reason why I'm putting it at TP2. I'll explain it in a second as well. So my trade will be this. Okay. It wouldn't exactly naturally be at this entry point because it's a reverse. If this was a continuation, I'll jump in the trade from entry because no matter what happens, even if it pulls back, it's still going in my direction, right? But this is a reversal. So it's looking for a pullback. So the reason why I put this at TP2 now is this, because when the trade gets at least 10 to 15 pips above my entry, I'm going to close this stop loss and move my stop loss into entry. So no matter what happens, I will not lose this trade. I prefer to walk away with 2-3 pips than to walk away with a hit SL. Okay. So once I've moved my stop loss into entry, which if you don't know what to do, just get on with your mentor and he will show you how to, he or she will show you how to do that. Then now this is a risk-free trade. If it hits TP1, great. If it hits TP2, even greater. But I'm not losing any money during this trade. All right, so I hope that's kind of clear for you guys as well. Sometimes I know it's a lot of information to digest, especially if you're new. But once you get this and you understand how to make this a profession, guys, it's going to make so much more sense. And it's going to be so much more interesting for you to mark up the charts and kind of be like, okay, this is what I see, this is what I see. Okay, great, it's worked, it's worked, it's worked, it's worked. Okay, I missed that one, that hit SL, but it's worked, it's worked, it's worked. Okay, that one hit SL, it's worked, it's worked, it's worked. Okay. So I don't know how to do that to move. Okay, so you can move your SL to break even in a couple of different ways. Okay, if you're using MT5, okay, or MT4, I was supposed to say if you're using your phone. If you're using your phone, the same coordinates that you use for your stop loss, now you need to move that coordinates into the trade. So what do I mean by that? Okay, I think maybe we should do. In fact, you know what, guys? I think maybe I should do a video on it if there's not one that's out there already, how to move your stop loss into profit. Because I think it needs to be something that you copycat. You need to copy it, but it's not very easy to explain. So I'm going to see if there's a video. If not, we'll create a video to make sure you guys know how to do that as well. It's very, very important that you know how to do that. Okay. So guys, look, if there's no more questions, Manara is a lot of incompletes. So we're going to wait for these to complete throughout the week, and then we're going to post these as well. But the free trades I want you to write down, the free trades, the free currencies that we're going to be trading, GBP USD, AUD USD, and USD CAD. Make sure you write those down, right? So you can have a look at those as well from the market perspective. So guys, look, that's it from me. Derek, I don't know if there's anything else that you want to go through on this particular Sunday. Boom, boom, boom. If not, guys, I think if there's no more questions, we're going to close out. I hope you guys have got a lot of information and a lot of knowledge. And it's just like as my mentor said, I'm going to leave you with this. There's a group of people that think they're right, and there's a group of people that think they're wrong. They're both correct. All right? They're both correct. But you have to choose which group you move with, okay? So that's me, Jay. I'm out, and I'll speak to you guys very, very soon. Look forward to seeing you in the charts and in the groups. All right, take care, guys.